I need y'all's A game, and don't worry, it's not gonna be that bad. I'm gonna go as slow as possible, and if something doesn't make sense, I need you guys to stop me. Cool or not cool? All right, we don't have to be experts. We just got to know how to multiply more or less. So here we go. It says express in simplest radical form. So it says the square root of 49. I would hope that we know the perfect square root. So I'm going to write them over here, guys. So let's see what are perfect squares. So we should know the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. So here the square root of 16 is 4. The square root of 25 is 5. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 81 is 9. The square root of 100 is 10. Can we at least do those? Okay. By definition, just in case, I'm just doing it here, guys. The definition of a square root, so if I have x squared, is as soon as you can get a pair. See, so you take that pair out, and that's what it is. That's what the definition of square root is. If it was a cube root, you get a group of threes. If it's a fourth root, you get a group of fourths, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I'll close the door. Can we close the door, please? That way. Okay, are we okay so far, guys? All right, so I look at this question right here. It says square root of 49. This is the same thing as 7 times 7. So the square root of 49 is 7, and that's it. Nothing crazy. Are we still okay? Okay. So when you have something like this, expressed in simplest radical form, square root of 63, try and think, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be perfect, guys. Try and think of the biggest possible square root that fits into it, a perfect square, the biggest possible perfect square that fits into this. So I look at that 63, and I'm thinking, what two numbers multiply to give you 63? 9 and 7. See? I don't know if you know the little trick about the little hands. You put the 7 down, and this is only for nines. You got 6 fingers here, you got 3 fingers here, so 63. You put an 8, 9 times 8, 72. 9 times 9, 81. So, cool? Okay. All right. Let me... Can you put this back here? All right, so here we go. What is, and you can break it down further like this. This really is the square root of 9 times the square root of 7. That's how Delta Math teaches it. What's the square root of 9? So this is 3 root 7. And that's it. The way I teach it, guys, I like to do it like this, but if you don't like it, I'll go back to the way Delta does it. I like to do a little tree, and I say 9 times 7, and all this is under the square root. And then I say, oh, look, that 9 is 3 times 3, and then as soon as there's a pair, I take it out. So I go 3, and then you see that 7? It's still under that square root, so 3 root 7. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys like it like that or no? Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to go slow. So let's go to number 3. Oh, look at that one. This one's big. If you guys know, so I'm going to do it 2 ways. I'm going to change my colors in a little bit. I would like for you guys to be able to be like, oh, that is 16 times 7. And then don't worry, if you guys don't know that, I'll do it a different way in a little bit. Look, 16 times 7 really is, in fact, 112. 6 times 7 is 42. Put a 4 there. 1 times 7 is 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I put an 11, and there it is. So 16 times 7 is 112. Are we still okay? And then that's 16. That breaks down to 4 times 4. As soon as I see a pair, I'm going to take it out. And that 7 is still inside the radical. 4 root 7. Do we feel okay? Okay. What if we didn't go this route? So let me show you another route. Oh, sorry. Okay, you're good? Okay. So what if I didn't go this route? So here's another route, guys. I'm going to change my colors. And if you just want to take this in, like just observe this, don't write this down, just observe. Absorb. Did I observe? Observe. Just observe. So that 112 is an even number. I think it's pretty easy to just divide every number by 2 because, you know, it's easy to divide by half, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, well, 2 times what is 112? Well, let's see. 112 divided by 2, what's that? 56, because 6 plus 6 is 12. 50 plus 50 is 100, and 6 plus 6 is 12. So I got 56. You don't have, in case you don't know, you could have just gone like 112 divided by 2. 2 goes into 12 5 times. Put a 10, subtract. That's a 1. Bring down that 2. 2 goes into 12 6 times. So you would have gone 56 anyways. That's old school without using a calculator or anything. Are we still okay? All right. Check this out. You see that 56? That is still even. Can I cut that in half? Yeah. I'm going to write a 2 right here. And then 2 times, let's see, 25 and 25 is 50. But I need another 6, so that means I'm going to add 3 to the 25, so 6 and 28. So 28. And then you see that group of 2's that I see right here? I'm going to take them out. So now I have 2 root 28. Chav, that's not 4 square root of 7. Okay, hold on. Hold your brakes. You see that 28? I'm going to break it down again. It's even. It's an even number. I can divide it by 2. So I'm going to say 2 times, let's see, that's a 28, so 14. Because 15 plus 15 is 30. Are we still okay? Look at that 14. I can break it down. 2 times 7. Look at those 2's right there. I'm going to take them out. When I take it out, you're going to bring it. There it is. It's that 2. You're going to multiply it. Now it's 2 times 2. So when I do that, look what I get. 4 root. And then what do I have inside the square root? 7. And you got the same answer. Obviously, okay. And I'm going to slow down. The best route is this one, 16 times 7, you go right to it, 4 times 4, 4 root 7. But notice that even if you don't go that route, you'll still get to the answer. Do you guys see that? Okay, delta math, when you do it, they're going to ask for perfect square roots. So make sure that you have this down right here. The square root of 4 is 2, the square root of 9 is 3, square root of 16 is 4, square root of 25 is 5, square root of 36 is 6, square root of 49 is 7, square root of 64 is 8, square root of 81 is 9, square root of 100 is 10. If you can get those, then you'll be fine. Are we still okay, guys? Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Anytime, okay, and I'm going to slow down. If you have a number that ends with a 0, especially if it's like a 50, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So if that's a 50, that's easy to do. Just think about quarters. How many quarters does it take for you to have 50 cents? So this, I can write it as 25 times 2. Do you know what the square root of 25 is? Yeah, so look, you got the answer right off the bat. This is the same thing as 5 root 2. Did that make sense, guys? Okay. Would you have gotten the answer if you would have gone the long way? Yes. Actually, the long way divided by 2, you get the answer right off the bat also. Okay. Cool or not cool? Cool? You're not just saying that just so I can go on? Okay, so we're getting this. All right, here we go. I'm going to go slow, guys. Don't worry. Okay. And don't get there. Don't say face. Does the numerator have a square root? Does the denominator have a square root? So because there's a square root on both, you can use law of exponents. You could just go right off the bat and say, how many times does 6 go into 30? 5. Square root of 5. That's it. You could have also done giant parenthesis and put 30 over 6, close it, and the square root of all that. That's the law of exponents. But that's it. If you have a square root on both, you can just go like that. Be done. It doesn't break down, guys. It doesn't break down anymore. That's it. Are we okay, guys? All right, here we go. Let's go to question number 6. So I have the square root of 8 times the square root of 20. Here's how I'm going to do this. You see that 8? I'm going to break that down. There's only 2 numbers that multiply to give you 8. What and what? Yeah, I'll write the 2 first. 2 times 4. There's several numbers that give you 20, 10 times 2, but I don't want to use 10 and 2. I want to use a perfect square root. So I'm going to use the 4 and 5. Remember, all this has square root. That's a square root, that's a square root, that's a square root, that's a square root. You see these 2 right here? Because there's a pair of those, I'm going to take that out and I'm going to just write 4. So I like to write it without the square roots, but it doesn't matter, however you are. I'm going to group those. So there's my 4. And you see that 2 and that 5? What is 2 times 5? So I'm going to write root 10. I didn't get to use those, so it still has a square root on them, so just root 10. Does that make sense to you guys? And that's it. You're done. It's just 4 root 10. How do we feel? Okay. I know, guys. I know it's late. We're almost done, guys, and we'll. I know it's hard to do math last period or second to last period. Wait, this is last period, 9th period, right? Okay. All right. Last one, or not almost last one. Last one on the front page. So ready? So 2 numbers. It says express in simplest radical form. So you're adding them. Two numbers that multiply to give you 63. 9 and 7. Are we still okay? All right. That 9 breaks down 3 times 3. I see a group. I take that out. So what is 6 times 3? 18. So I'm going to write 18 root. What do I have left? 7. Here's that plus symbol. That plus symbol is that one. Job, I don't know how to do this one. Remember what I told you. If you have 50, 75, or 100, it breaks down with quarters. How many quarters do I have to get $1.75? Yeah, 7. So I'm going to write 25 times 7. If you have 7 quarters, that's $1.75. Yes or no? Yes. What's the square root of 25? 5. If you want to break it down, there it is. 5 times 5. That goes on the outside now. You're going to put 5, and then what do I have inside the radical? 7. All right. Are we cool? Okay, check this out, guys. I hope. Okay, I'll wait for you guys to catch up. This has a root 7. This has a root 7. This is like combining like terms. Imagine this were 18x plus 5x. You would just add them up. What's 18 plus 5? So this is the same thing. I have a square root 7. I have a square root 7. So you're going to go 18 plus 5 is 23, and you're going to keep the root 7, square root 7. So you're going to go, this is 23 root 7. Is this making sense? Okay. I kind of want standing desk, guys, because I feel like, no, I'm not picking on you, I promise, or not, just in case, because I was looking over there. I kind of feel like with standing desks, it's kind of hard to fall asleep because like you're standing, so the brain is sending signals. But when you're sitting down, look how relaxed you are. When you're sitting down, the only thing that's moving is your hand. So of course you're gonna want to fall asleep. You're like, oh. You know, and if you're comfortable, you're like, oh, my eyes are so heavy, I just want to close my eye. Like, you know, like, yeah. So if you get a chance, guys, if you find yourself falling asleep in any class, just get up. You know, if there's a standing desk, get up. I'll see if I can bring a standing desk so you guys can use it. You know, would you guys like standing desks? I don't know. Like, no, like maybe a standing desk that you can choose whether you want to be up or down or not. So I'll recommend that for the next one. All right, flip the page. I think we answered all the questions there, right, guys? Okay, go to the next page. It says express in simplest radical form. Negative 5 square root of 6 minus square root of 6. Put a 1 right in front of that square root of 6, like that. And that's a demerit. Okay. What is negative 5 minus 1? Yeah, that's it. Negative 6 root 6. Square root 6. Done. I'm saying done. I'm not saying D-U-M, because some students are like, why are you calling us done? Like, well, I'm not. I'm saying done. D-O-N. D-O-N-E. Okay, are we still okay, guys? All right, let's go to the next question. Question 9. It says express in simplest form with a rational denominator. So that means no radical in denominator. That's what it means. Before you do anything, two numbers that multiply to give you 45. 9 and 5. And what's the square root of 9? 3. So there it is. I just went 3 times 3 there. So here's what I have. I have 2 over 3 root. What do I still have under that square root? 5. So catch up to here. Are we still okay? Okay. Oh, who said no? I heard someone. Okay, we're good? Okay. All right. From here, I want to get rid of that square root of 5. How do I do that? Multiply it by square root of 5 over square root of 5. Make sure that you do square root of 5 in the top, square root of 5 in the bottom, guys, because this is just 1. Don't be a robot. You're just multiplying by 1. Anytime you multiply by 1, it's itself. Do we understand that, guys? Okay, now we're just going to go numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. So that 2 and that square root of 5, that 2 does not have a square root. So leave it alone. That square root of 5, it has a little house. So put the little house there, square root of 5. They don't multiply together. Well, there it is. That's a product. That's how you show it. And that's it. In the denominator, the square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is just going to be 5. And what is 5 times 3? There it is. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Remember, square root of happy face times square root of happy face is just happy face. Don't be a robot. I mean, I don't know. Are you happy face haters? Square root of triangle times square root of triangle is just triangle. And if you want like logic, none of that makes sense to me. Square root of 9 times square root of 9 is just 9. Why? Well, the square root of 9 is 3. Oh, look, the square root of 9 is 3 again. Oh, look, 3 times 3 is 9. So hopefully one of those three methods helped. Cool or not cool? Cool. All right. Let's go to question 10. Do we answer this question? Yeah, 2 root 5 over 15. If the 15 would have been a 16, then I would have reduced it, right? Okay. Express in simplest form with a rational denominator. So again, I don't want a rational denominator, so I have 4 over root 2, and I'm going to go slow. What do I do to get rid of the root 2 in the denominator? Multiply by? Yeah, square root 2 over square root 2. So now I'm going to have this. 4 root 2 over 2. So I'm going to wait a little bit, catch up. I wish I had fries. Did I said ketchup? Fries, ketchup? I'll stop. LOL. I'm kidding. Meow, meow. See, because kitten. Meow. Okay, that will be it. I already used up all my jokes, so you're going to hear the same jokes over and over throughout the whole year. All right. Are we still okay, guys? You see how I have a 4 in the numerator and a 2 in the denominator? Those don't have square roots on them. What is 4 divided by 2? So this is going to be 2, and I still have that root 2 in the numerator. Put root 2 like so. This 2, right? I guess I'll color code it. That 2 came from this 2. So my answer, 2 root 2. Is all this making sense? Does the logic follow? Okay. Here we go. We got 2 left, guys. Express in simplest radical form. Okay, you guys ready? What is the square root of 25? 5. Oh, look, that says x squared. That's the same thing as x times x. So this is going to be 5x. So the answer is B. Make another number. Call it 11.b. Because I'm doing another example. What if I had the square root of 25 x to the 11th? Relax. What you want to do is turn that x to the 11th, turn that exponent into an even exponent, but you want to make sure that you still have x to the 11th. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to write 25 x to the 10th times x. Do you agree that is still x to the 11th? Okay. So now this x to the 10th breaks down x to the 5th times x to the 5th. Are we still okay? What's the square root of 25? 5. And then do you see that x to the 5th times x to the 5th? The square root of x to the 10th is going to be x to the 5th. And what do I still have inside the radical? So square root of x. That would have been my answer if that would have been one of my questions. Are we cool? Okay, because you're going to see that question, by the way. That's why I put it in there. All right, here we go. Our last, ask me. Okay. Ask me questions, guys. Okay, here we go. Last one. That 2 cannot be broken down. You can't break it down anymore. That's just 2 times 1. It doesn't break down. But that x to the 8th does. I can break that down to x to the 4th times x to the 4th. When you multiply exponents, you add them up. So that's x to the 8th right there. So there's my pair. So I have x to the 4th on the outside, square root of 2. Look for that answer. Do you see it? Did all this make sense? Okay, hopefully this is enough logic for you to get through the assignment from last week. Do you guys remember? If you already took care of that assignment, then you just have this one left. If you haven't taken care of the last one, that one has priority because that one is due today. And then this one, I know it says it's due today, but I'm gonna put this one due for Thursday. What's up, miss? I don't know what.